Bonjour! Welcome to another episode of Cuisine de Michelle. I am Michelle, so today I'm going to be trying a recipe I have not made before. This is going to be for rosemary cheddar cheese bread, and it's on kingarthurflourbaking.com. So anyway, to make this recipe, these are the ingredients that we're going to need. First, we're going to need this flour, the golden wheat, whole wheat flour here. And then baking powder, dried rosemary, dried sage, salt, 2 eggs, 6 tablespoons of butter, milk. You also need all-purpose flour. Now they do want you to use the unbleached, but again, you could use regular all-purpose flour as well. The better cheddar cheese powder, cayenne pepper, regular black pepper, and cheddar cheese. And it just says cheddar cheese that we're going to be starting up here. I got a medium cheddar. I guess that's going to be fine. So we'll find out. Let's get started. First, we're going to need to grease our loaf pan. This is a 9-inch by 5-inch loaf pan. Set that aside. You're also going to want to heat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Then we're going to the bowl. I've already measured out the golden wheat flour. This is 170 grams, which is, it says a cup and a half, but I went by weight only. We're going to be adding in 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of dried rosemary, ½ teaspoon of the dried sage, and ¼ teaspoon of salt. I'm going to give that a quick whisk together here. And what I want to mention about this is that it does. This is the just half of the batter. We're actually going to be making 2 different batters here. That's why you have the 2 different flours. All right, we got that mixed together. Next, we're going to be starting with just 1 of the eggs, and we're going to beat that. I'm just going to do it with a fork here. To that, we will add 1/2 cup of milk, and then 3 tablespoons of melted salted butter. Back to our dry mixture, we're going to gradually be adding in this wet mixture that we just made into here. So I'm just going to put a little at a time, kind of give it a mix. A bit more. Your batter is to get a bit stiff here as you are mixing it, but we don't want to overmix. We don't want to overwork our gluten that's in there. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to be working on making the next part. For the next batter, we're going to start with, this is the unbleached all-purpose flour, 1.5 cups, which is 180 grams for this one. To that, we're going to add 1/4 cup of the better cheddar powder, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, an 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne, and a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. We'll set that aside for a moment. And yes, I'm going to reuse my bowl because we're going to basically be making the same mixture here of sorts. It's just not exactly the same amounts. We're going to start off with our egg and beat it. We're then going to add in 3/4 cup milk. And 3 tablespoons of salted butter that is melted. Just like we did with the last one, we're going to be gradually mixing in the liquid part. So we have one more step to do after we get this part mixed together. We are now going to be adding in the shredded up cheddar cheese. This is 113 grams. As I said, I'm using medium cheddar, but I think you could use whichever cheddar. It does not specify which level of sharpness for your cheddar. All right, now it's time to assemble our bread. What we're going to do now is we're going to be, and it says to make ping pong size scoops. So I'm going to kind of do like that. That looks almost like a ping pong ball size. And we start off with the cheese. I don't think it matters which one you start off with necessarily. But it does say that we want to make like a checkerboard pattern. And we're going to leave spaces in between for the other dough. Well, that didn't land exactly where I wanted it to, but it's gonna be all right. Okay, now we're gonna try for the other. The scoop isn't quite as big, but there's not actually as much of this dough, so I think that might work out in my favor. I've got to get some more scoops and some better scoops. This one was a cheapie, and it's definitely performing like a cheapie. That one landed kind of funny. I kind of have to force it in there. And then we have to make another layer on top of this in the same fashion. All right, so once you have these all scooped in here, I did end up with one extra scoop of the cheese dough instead of the other, so it doesn't come out exactly even. But anyway, I'm going to be popping this into the oven. We're going to bake this for 45 to 50 minutes. This is the bread after taking it out of the oven. It has been out of the oven for 30 minutes. I did test it with a fork to make sure that it was done. I let it go the full 50 minutes. We're now going to turn this out onto a cooling rack so that it can cool fully before being able to sample it. Looks absolutely beautiful here. And here we are at final plating. This looks really great. I am very excited about slicing into it and trying it. So let's see how this looks. I'm going to slice it in right here so you can kind of look at how did the crumb turn out. You can see the checkerboard pattern, so that's pretty cool. That's awesome. All right, let me slice that down so that we can give it a try. A little bit fell off at the edge there. That's all right though. It's still actually, it's been a while and it's still got a little bit of warmth inside, but that's okay. Let's see how it is. All the crumbs are all over my lips now. Okay, it's very good. Sorry for the delay there. There was a lot of chewing involved, but it's very, very good. It's pretty salty, but of course you expect that much when you have a bread that has cheese in it like that. But I would definitely make that again. It's very nice. I feel like it needs maybe some kind of topping or something like that or something to dip it in, but I don't know what. I couldn't tell you. It just kind of has a flavor there, but I really like it. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this episode and that you'll join us for another episode of Cuisine de Michelle. Please be sure to give this video a like, a subscribe, a comment, and we'll see you next time. Au revoir.